Hi guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. Now this is going to be our final on the Porsche Group Build, which is being hosted by our friends over at the Scale Model Car Podcasts. That being Matt over at the Lucas E channel, Brian over at BG's Model Workshop, Chuck over at Chuck's Hobby Spot, and of course Jason over at the Blue Ox Model Shop. Now we're pretty much finished with this thing now finally. You know, we've pretty much just got to put it all together and hopefully that won't take too long. But before we do that, I'm just going to give you a bit of a look at the pre-assembly before we seal everything in. We've done quite a lot since the last update. The last update was probably 4 or 5 weeks ago now. And we haven't really had a chance to do anything in between. So, you know, we'll start off with the body. I mean, I think the body work last time, you know, we'd pretty much got it there, but it just needed a bit of finishing off and what have you. You know, I think the main thing we've done since the last video is we had to create our own rear wing. The kit rear wing comes as a solid piece, and the car had like a double aerofoil on it, so I just scratch built that out of some sheet styrene. I had to shape it all. I didn't want it just looking like two flat pieces of sheet styrene, so we got in there and sort of created some arches and made it actually look like an aerofoil and just glued that in there. But you know, bodywork wise, I'm trying to sort of get things close to the car, so to speak. So you know, we did put a couple of dents in there. I just used a Dremel for that, to be quite honest with you. I just didn't want to get any heat close to that A-pillar vent window at all and risk buckling all that A-pillar frame. So yeah, we just went in with Dremel and carved a bit of a dent out of there and just sort of painted some detail in there. Didn't want to go too far with it, but you know, the paint colour we chose in the end for the anti-radar brown paint was, you know, I looked everywhere, like, to be quite honest with you, but I ended up going with some RAL paint. I mean, RAL's been around for many years. It's used for all kinds of sort of fleet vehicles, industrial sort of, I think they use it for gates and all buildings and stuff like that, but yeah, RAL has got a great range of sort of solid colours. And yes, this is the way it arrived to me through the post, like, and, you know, luckily the main, you know, it's still in one piece, but I went for this red-brown 812. Unfortunately, it's a gloss colour, is this, so we had to go over with the matte clear after it all dried. I let it dry for quite a while because I wasn't too sure about that paint, to be quite honest. You know, it's going a bit out of my realm, is that kind of stuff. But I originally painted it. I did put the flat clear on it. It looked a little bit too drab, so, and I wanted it kind of looking a little bit weathered. So I put another wet coat of the matte clear on it. And I paint everything inside, so everything, I haven't got a problem with, too much of a problem with dust or anything like that, but because I wanted it to look a little bit faded just on my last coat, like I say, it was getting a bit late, so the air outside was getting a bit nippy, so just on the last coat before, as soon as I shot it, I just poked it out the window a little bit, and I just let the clear coat bloom, and then once I was happy with how much it was blooming, I just pulled it back inside. But you know that, and then after it was all dry, I did buff it up a little bit, just in places. But I mean, it got me the finish I wanted. These composite rear spoilers on pretty much any car, you know, they really lose the colours. You know, I think that had quite a good effect on there, and just in the gaps around here, it gave me the kind of sort of finish I want. So it saved me a lot of messing about with trying to figure out another way to do it. So yeah, just shoving it outside in the cold air just as that last coat was drying, I think that did the trick for me. And like I say, after it's dry, just give it a bit of a buff here and there, just to put a bit of a sheen on it. The matte finish was a little bit too matte for my liking, but yeah, I was pretty pleased with how that came out. I think I chose the only Porsche that actually needed foiling. So yeah, that was another joyous job I had to do, but it took me a couple of hours to get everything foiled on this. Used all the kit glass. The only thing I did was cut out, because these glass pieces are one solid piece. We just cut out the driver and passenger windows, left everything else in there, just put these in separately. But yeah, I mean, I was quite pleased with how the foil, the chrome work came out, and it really did break up the drab finish of the brown. And yeah, I did the rear lights as well. I foiled around the bezels and then the lenses as well, which is a bit laborious to do, but just trying to get focus. In fact, I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way for now, so it's taking away the focus, but yeah, I think the lenses turned out quite nice, and like I say, all the little bits like this all lifted the model. And we got the tops of the inner fender wells, which we glued to the hood. And I just went round after I painted it all brown, I just went in with sponges with different greys and blacks and this, that and the other. I taped up around here just so I didn't get I could sort of just get a bit carried away, and I wasn't having to worry about getting too much on the actual bodywork. But yeah, we just used blacks, greys, dark greys, just acrylic sort of art craft paint. Didn't need to use anything else other than that. But yeah, I was quite pleased with how that turned out. We pretty much got the underside all painted. I painted the headline a grey. You really didn't see much of the interior. There was a couple of split seconds where you got a few little shots and glimpses of bits and pieces in the interior. So I noticed he had a grey headline in, so went ahead with a grey headline and painted all inside black, and then just dabbed a bit of dark grey to bring out the detail in the doors and what have you. But I mean, the movie car was pretty much a standard 911 with a 935 body kit, and yeah, we did, by the end of this, and because I was doing the damaged version, I wanted to cut all the fenders off, so we pretty much eliminated most of the 935 on this one. But the important bits, the rear spoiler, they were the important bits for this, why I use this model. But yeah, I mean, the chassis plate, we'd used the original chassis plate, to be quite honest with you. Modified it quite a bit. I didn't want to go into heavy detail, because eventually this model is going to be glued to a base, or screwed to a base, and we're never going to see the underside again. So, but I wanted to, just for peace of mind, I wanted to give it a bit of paint detail, so I just weathered it up a little bit and brought out the highlights. But yeah, with this, we've pretty much done all this. We'd built all the inner fender wells and what have you on the last video. Pretty much, I think we've done a tiny bit more to it, but it was pretty much done. I think there was just a bit of tidying up, and as we put it together, it looks quite well underneath there, and it all size in, and now I can just glue the hood to the inner fender wells, or the trunk, whatever it is classed on these things. And everything goes together quite well, so it should be an easy final to put together, so to speak. But yeah, I think the only other things we had to do was a bit of tidying up on the rear end. Like I said, I pointed out on the last video that because it's a motorised kit, this side of the chassis is, is deeper than this side to accommodate for the gears and what have you. So, and we butchered a second chassis really to take the smaller independent wells to use on both sides of this, so we didn't have a massive one. Because once you cut them off, they're completely symmetrical, so to speak. And so yeah, we just tidied that up where the gap is for the switch. You know, we just added a plate in there and added a bit of plastic just to join them up, make it look something like. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all done now. So all the wheels are together now. You know, I've glued all the rear wheels. You know, I was going to do black inside the wheels, like to highlight them, but I don't think the real car had that, so we just went with a light grey, and then just chrome foiled the rest of them. So, like on the fronts there, just ready to slot in once I've screwed them to the chassis, like so. But yeah, both rear wheels are done, and you know, I think they've come out quite nice. They're all glued together and just painted the backs black. But you know, I think I didn't want it to be a bit of a bore. I wanted to bring something to life in the interior, and because we're doing a diorama eventually for this one, that's going to be the next job I do. I'm hoping to get that sort of done for the final day of the group build. So I needed drivers in it anyway, because the car's going to be in motion, so to speak, and yeah, I don't want a car in motion without drivers. So yeah, we got a couple of Tamiya figures, painted one up as our friend Bert, so it's all ready to go kind of thing. I mean, I'm not a great figure painter or anything, it was just, you know, doing what I could to make him look something like. And but I used the same kind of Tamiya figure for Captain Chaos, of course. You know, we couldn't have a Cannonball Run build without Captain Chaos in there. But problem is, he's a little bit more heavy set, let's say. So he had to do quite a bit of modifying for him. This guy originally had a big quiff, so he had to scalp him and sand his head down. And make him a little bit more chunky around the waistline and what have you. So all this is just done with, and around the face as well. He had a right bony face. You know, we've had to pork him up a little bit in the chops and what have you. But you know, all this was just done with white tack. Shapes into, you know, something that looks right, and then, you know, just primed it up. And once I primed up, I was quite happy with it, so I knew I could go ahead. But yeah, just painted a little mask on him. I wanted the chaos on his little cap. Didn't have any white letters, so I just used yellow letters from a number plate kit I've got. So I just cut all them out individually and stuck them on his head. Gave him a little cape as well. Actually butchered up a red tie. I don't know where I've got a red tie from, but I had a red tie, so I just used a bit of material from there. And you know, because he was just sat with his hands kind of doing nothing, I just to put a bit of interest, I put a little bit of a police radio receiver in his hands, like, and you know, just so it looks like he ain't so sort of lost with his hands, so to speak. But the parcel shelf, I did notice in the movie, from, like I say, from the split-second clips you got to see, that whatever the cover was over the rear parcel shelf or rear seat area, it just looked like it had been thrown over. So just tried to recreate that with masking tape, just sort of crimped it over, just laid it down and like crimped it over the edges and sort of made it a bit slack over the transmission tunnel or engine tunnel, so to speak. And then it was, of course, looking a bit bland, so we put a bit of a mechanics toolkit in there, just thrown in the back, and you know, just a socket set and some spanners and a little oil jug, and pretty much same on this side, just a couple of spanners and some blue rag and what have you. And of course, you couldn't leave it without a couple of beers in the back for the boys. Like, so yeah, I think those are from, again, I think I've used these before on another build, but I think, you know, these originate from the NPC Gangbusters kits. Came with a ton of them. Did them things. I think I've got another set there which I hadn't used, like brand new set, but you know, they came with all Gangbusters kits, and they're right handy for just adding a bit of detail and interest into these things. Like, but yeah, I was really happy with that, and I think once that's in the model, then yeah, it's going to really finish it off, and it, like I say, just adds a bit of interest, makes it look a little less static. And I mean, you're not going to see much, but I think through that rear glass, you know, you're going to see it's better than looking at an empty sort of seat area and what have you. And you know, it brings a bit of colour in. I love bringing colour into these things, like, and you know, with the figures and everything on the seating area, you know, I think that's going to really sort of set it off a little bit and make it a little less boring, because it's quite a drab colour. But unfortunately, you know, that's the colour of the car, and you know, it just looks right on that anyway. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, to be quite honest with you. It has been all these things like all the like foiling and stuff, you know, it all takes time, and just adding all this detail in. And you know, I think I'm my worst enemy at not leaving things alone, but you know, I do like to try my best at these things, or do the best I can when I'm joining a group build, so to speak. And you know, there's so many great builders out there that, you know, they're all doing the same things. You know, I think with that, you know, what we'll do is we're at 17 minutes now. Because there hadn't been an update in between, I kind of knew this would be a bit of a lengthy start to the video. So we'll just get it thrown together, and hopefully won't keep you too much longer. So we'll see you in the next clip. Right then, well, that's us finally finished with it. You know, we are a couple of days later since that last clip. You know, I did want to get this video out Wednesday night, but it was a little bit of a fiddly finish, to be quite fair. You know, the way I built this, and you know, I really had to spend a bit of time jamming all that interior up inside the body. And by the time I put it together, or got it mostly put together, it was just running a little bit late. So I thought I'd just give myself another couple of days. But yeah, we're finally there. I think the only thing I haven't added right now is the original car had a roof antenna, and because I'm going to be handling it a lot for the diorama I'm going to be building, I'm just going to keep it off for now, to be quite honest. But everything else is there. You know, to be quite honest, for my first ever Porsche model I've built, I'm pretty happy with it. Another long-standing project, which I'll be honest with you, I thought I'd never do, just because it's a Porsche. But you know, that's another great reason why you know, why I got into this group build. Like, you know, it just gets you doing something a little bit out of your comfort zone, and Porsche is certainly out in my comfort zone. And we haven't got a lot left of this one after I've cut all the body panels off, but I think I did a pretty good representation of the car you briefly saw in the Cannonball Run. You know, I'm happy with the paint I chose, the finish I chose, and the sort of weathered look I went for as well, with that blooming around the spoiler and just on top of the hood and what have you. Just gives that boring brown colour a little bit of something else to sort of make it stand out a little bit. But you know, I'm like I say, really happy with it. I'll just take it off the stand. We'll have a little bit of a closer look around it. But But we obviously got all the wheels on, the steering still posable. We still utilised all the kit steering rack, even though it's not detailed or anything. I did want posable steering on this thing still, and it's good enough. And just added, like I say, we added all the details like the dents, and after all that work on the interior, you can't really see the figures much. You can't really see Captain Chaos's bonds in there, but that big rear window, it does let you see through all the parcel shelf and what have you, and I'm really happy with the way the interior turned out, to be quite honest with you. And like I say, it just added a little bit of extra to what would be a quite a bland looking model otherwise. But like I say, it took me quite a bit longer to do this one, just for me life being so busy. But all the little details like the top of the inner fenders, the inner wings and what have you, so, they look pretty well now they're all together, and I think that the whole thing comes together quite well and what have you. But only last little details, we added them shoelace ferrules for the exhaust tips and what have you, just gave them a little bit of a black wash. But I mean, like I say, really happy with that. For me first entry into the Porsche Group Build, I did want to do one with a chopped roof and what have you, but maybe we'll have to leave that till next year. But other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with that entry, and I'll certainly be joining in again on this one for sure. So I mean, I think as we do with all these videos, all the final videos, I'll just put it in the photography square and what have you, and we'll just have a look at it under the bright lights and then just sign the video off. So I think all we'll do is we'll just throw it in there now, and we'll just sign off the video. So we'll see you in a second. See you, mate. Right then, like I say, we're just throwing it in here for the final bit of the video. We will have some pictures at the end, so if you want to see some close-up pictures, just stick around to the end. But like I say, it just gives us another chance to have a look at the built model, the finished model, in a bit of a different light, and it just gives me another opportunity just to thank all the viewers, the supporters, the subscribers of the channel. We've been really busy lately, so we just have been having to put a lot of filler videos out of the old built kits and stuff I've got in the collection, and I really want to thank everybody's positive response to those. We will continue with them while we still are a little bit busy, but we are going to continue this project on until the end of September, just with a bit of a diorama. I do want to try and get that finished for the end date of the Porsche Group Build, and then we're gonna be starting on another project. We'll have a bench update soon as well. I've got quite a few bits and pieces I want to run through, and I've not actually had the opportunity to do a full bench update for a while now. So in the next week or so, we'll put out a bench update as well as still putting out some videos of the old built kits and very brief histories that go with that and what have you. But yeah, like I say, going back to the model, just really happy with it. Really happy with the custom wheels I made out of the old Oshima wheels, and a bit of a mixture of the monogram wheels as well. And just happy I took the extra time on this one. I didn't really want to rush it, to be quite fair. I had an idea in mind to put figures in it, and it's all going to tie in with the sort of final thing we're going to be doing with this. But as far as the actual models, the model is, we're pretty much finished with that. But we will do something else. But yeah, I mean, like I say, we will be putting out continue to put out videos no matter how busy we are. We want to keep the channel running. We have got a shop card as well finally, so we'll be including that in the bench update and what have you, along with all the other stuff. So you know, please do stick around. Like we got some other really nice builds coming up. We've still got the USACC announcement to do. I've not done a video on that either, so yeah, there's quite a lot to cover. So you know, like I say, once again, thank you for sticking with us, and you know, hope you've enjoyed this build. You know, it's one I'm really happy with now it's all said and done, like, and we'll definitely be joining the group build again next year. We will do that Chop Truth. Was really hoping that I'd get time to do two. At the time when I started these, I felt I had a bit more time than I had, but unfortunately, with the extra time I've taken on this one and the lack of time for anything else, and you know, one's just gonna have to satisfy you guys for now, like. But you know, we might do the roof chop throughout the year, and then we can just start on the model once the group build starts. But yeah, so I mean, this is going to be Friday night now. So yeah, just whatever you're doing for the rest of the weekend, you know, hope you have a great time, and we will just see you in the next video. Okay, see you, bye.